When I first started out, I would have given my right arm to figure out what made a book a bestseller, what magic got it to the top of the list. So lots and lots of readers loved it. It made a bunch of money. In this video, I'm going to tell you what I learned and how that took my books from rejected to the New York Times list, the USA Today list, and a lot of other bestseller lists. There are some key components that make bestsellers. And I'm also going to give you the one secret, the one thing that changed everything for me and made me sell my first book. It was this light bulb moment that I had. It took me a really long time to figure out these components. I wrote 10 books in 8 years and I got a lot of rejections. Just saying, nope, this isn't right for us. No, this isn't strong enough. No, 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 no. You may have read a couple of bestsellers that are out there and thought, this is terrible. Why on earth did it become a best-selling book? Now, granted, there are different strokes for different folks. Not everybody loves the same book, but there are key things that each bestseller has that is what makes it a reader favorite. Number one, and the thing that I see most commonly lacking in the manuscripts that I work with for the authors that I coach is emotion. It's hard to put emotion in a book. You know why? Because in order to put emotion in a book, you have to get vulnerable on the page. And frankly, nobody really likes to do that. But the thing with emotion, it is the number one component that creates something that sells well. Look at these studies from Harvard and other places that say that emotion is the number one thing that makes people buy. There are several core emotions that advertisers tap into, and that's what makes your book sell too. The thing you need to remember is that your book is a product just like anything else. And for the reader to part with their money to buy your product, there has to be something that draws them in, something that they think they're going to get for their money. And that is an emotional connection. Here's the truth. Readers don't care about the car chases. They really don't care how that works out. They care about the characters. They relate to the characters. And if you put more into your characters and into that emotional connection with the reader, you will notice the difference in your sales and in reader responses. So how the heck do I put more emotion in? All right, first of all, you got to figure out what emotional components are commonalities with the reader. And I've got lots of videos on character that you can watch that teach you how to put that emotional component in. It comes from the things that happened to the character in the past. That creates trauma, that creates wounds, it creates insecurities and anxieties, all of those things that we relate to. I have a character worksheet that you can fill out to help you figure this out. But you have to also get that emotion on the page. And how do you do that? You use show, not tell, which means that you show the things that are most emotionally impactful, the things that are really going to stay with the reader. You tell the things that are not that important. Getting the character from A to B is not that important. So you're not going to invest a lot of energy into showing that. The components of the book that are big emotional scenes between characters or in their past or in pivotal emotional growth moments, those are the ones that you want to show. You want to go the extra mile with really drawing out the emotion. That means you limit adverbs to the bare minimum. You don't use verbs like seemed, looked, or felt, and you kind of limit the verb to be, and you look for more powerful adjectives and more powerful verbs. Saying that a train came down the tracks versus a train barreled down the tracks paints two different pictures in the reader's mind. And when you use those more powerful verbs and adjectives, you show the emotion on the page, and it really gets the reader invested. They connect. Their imagination is ignited, and they care. The other key component of a lot of best-selling books is they relate it to something important to the readers. You'll notice that a lot of books come back to either true crimes or major issues like climate change or AI or any of those kinds of things that readers really care about. It can also relate back to some of the fears and anxieties that we have in general. If you look at the movie Day After Tomorrow, that relates to what climate change could do for the entire world. And that's a doomsday thing that a lot of us worry about. With Harry Potter, what made that so popular was the whole common theme of not fitting in, of going to a school where you were different. That's a universal theme that readers can relate to. So if you don't want to tackle some big issue like climate change, then find a universal theme that the reader can tap into. We all know that feeling of being a fish out of water. We all know that feeling of struggling with our identity. Those are the kinds of issues that you want to tap into with your characters so the reader can relate. They find that commonality. So how do you do that? You want to take your character and really get to know them and see what their core issues are. What is the most important things to them? What do they care about more than anything else? Once you know that, you can work that into the book, because when the character really, really cares about it, the reader will really, really care about it. The third thing you've got to do is know what you're up against. You've got to study the competition. The thing that took me from rejected to sold, I did this thing where I took 3 books, one by a best-selling author, one by a mid-list author, and one by a debut author, because your competition is not Stephen King. It is the debut author who just came out that readers love and publishers love, and that is a known quantity to people already. So I wanted to study them, and I highlighted the books with the plot and the emotional development and the conflict for the character. I went through and I did all of this highlighting, and that taught me structure of a book in a really visual way. And if you are a visual learner, it is a great thing to do. And here's the thing. I've already created an ebook for how to do that for you. And it's free. It's on my website. So just go there, enter your email address, and boom, you'll get the ebook. And it will tell you exactly what I did to take my books from rejected to sold. And then I use those techniques that I learned to improve my craft over and over and over again, so that I was eventually on the New York Times list, the USA Today list, and all kinds of other bestseller lists. You can do it too. It really is a matter of bringing out the emotion, studying the competition, and really keying in on those key components that readers relate to. Now, if you're struggling with any of this, come to our Fun Fiction Fridays and drop me a comment and ask me a question, because that way I can help you work through whatever your plot issues are, your character issues are. I encourage you to subscribe to the channel and drop a question in the comments, because I will see it and get back to you. I'll either make another video or I'll answer your question right then and there. My goal is to help you learn how to write a better book. Write a book that readers just can't forget about, and that readers are clamoring for your next one. That's what we're here to do on this channel. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I will see you next week.